All the gunshots, even though I'm not supposed to, in the first 30 seconds. It is all good. What is up, everyone? Joe Fucarino in the house, in the studio. We got Mr. Zain here.
How's it going, everybody?
With the Adidas fit.
The whole fit, yeah. There's gonna be a whole Adidas shoot featuring Zain.
Yo, when you get clothes, I hate when you get clothes like the first day, because it's like you gotta like stretch it out a little bit.
You gotta break it in. You gotta make sure like it actually fits. But then you have to give it a chance. Kind of feels like a relationship, to be honest.
You gotta give it a few times.
Because you gotta fit in a few times, and if it works for you, you don't return it.
Yo, this shirt I got today, I was like stretching, make sure I was wearing it long, wearing it under the hoodie so it gets like that hoodie. Because there's nothing like putting a hoodie over a shirt and then it really gets to work.
Oh yeah.
Because it's
so
like you're under the layer.
Up, yeah.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I'll do that just to make sure the shirt is good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, does it handle my sweat, a certain way, or does it just soak up? Then I can't wear it with my hoodies because now you just lost some shirt credibility. So you can't even hang on my hoodie without getting drenched. You gotta go.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Or if you get like scrunched up.
Right. It gets wrinkled too easily.
It's real stuff that people don't normally talk about. But we here, man. What you been up to, bro? I feel like we haven't done this in a little while.
Today alone was just a lot. Just like phone meetings. And then right after that, did a photo shoot. Then after the photo shoot, was editing some work for another client. And then I came here. So just today's been like, bam. I was up since like 8 o'clock. Actually, no, 7:30 this morning. Just moving.
My first alarm today went off a little later than it normally does. Today was 6:30. I've been doing like the 5:15. Today was 6:30, and I'm exhausted. It's been a season.
It's been a season for real. I hear that. I was shout out to Ty. She was the model I shot with today, and it was cold. And the shots that I did today is just like wild, and I'm just like, yo. Shout out to you because it was like a blazer shoot and she was wearing like an outfit and I was like, there's not enough coverage and it's cold outside. But people believe in Zain that it's worth the shot. So I thank y'all for believing in me.
100%. Yo, I will never forget though the night you had me out when you were doing the hardest part, that VFW scene with the fog and all that.
Oh yeah, that night was beautiful. Bro, absolutely amazing.
That had to be
the coldest.
One of the coldest nights that I can imagine. But it was weird because it shouldn't have been cold.
Right.
Like it was like it was like in the fall or something.
Right.
It was around the fall or like it was like December, November. It was like early. Like it shouldn't have been that cold.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. It was just weird. I said, I'm glad the characters get to wear like a hoodie and a jacket, a leather jacket, and wear some clothes. But I was expecting the night to be a little warmer because I don't even like the cold. So,
bro, I felt like a little bitch.
That's how cold it was.
I felt like a little bitch, bro, because I kept like having to stop. I was like, yo, I need to
get
my hands.
What were you doing? The lights?
I was doing the boom or light. Something I had to hold in my hands.
I think you were booming.
Maybe.
Yeah, you the only one. Yeah, you were booming for me. Yeah, there was no one. It was just the four of us.
It might have been that. And
yeah.
it was cold. I'll just never forget it. It was like one of those nights. It was just when I rewatch that part and you go back and watch it and you see all the air coming out of everyone's mouth, like that shit was real. Like yeah, we had a little fog machine, but a lot of that shit was me.
Imagine. He said, actually just hire Joe if you want ambient like that atmosphere mist going on. Just Joe got you.
Word. But what you been up to, man? I feel like I don't see you too much no more. kind of whack.
I feel
What's
like
up?
I haven't seen anybody.
Yeah, what's up, man?
COVID happened and everybody just dissipated.
Nah, I don't want to hear that. It's an excuse. It's an excuse. It's an excuse.
No, not with me. No. I'm around.
Nah,
I'm be around more often.
Nah, since you got Ace.
No. Ace is different. Now Ace can be brought around. Ace doesn't have to be home and chilling. You know what I'm saying? He can come out and socialize.
I don't know.
Because he was growing up.
Now you have other excuses.
Other excuses?
Oh no! I saw something on the close friends. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man!
So all I'm gonna say is I saw, and I was like, "Damn, we lost him." I was like, "We lost him again."
We lost him again.
Yeah, we lost him again.
That's funny.
You know.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
We lost him again.
No, what you call it? Yeah, man. You know, you get to that age, man. You gotta make some moves. You know, you gotta set the pieces where they need to be. You know, like. It's like get to that point where, you know, like I've established the company. You know, now it's really time to start looking. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't looking, and I found, and that's it. That was the most cryptic shit you'll ever hear.
This guy was looking for some Snickers. He was, literally. Now he was looking for some.
I was thinking about candies that would be somewhat similar to what the reference would be, and I can't find it because I don't mess with that. Damn, I don't got nothing.
Damn.
I could say, nope, not even that.
He's like, I gotta think about it now.
Can't. Nothing's gonna sound right.
He's like, I gotta think about it. Yeah, that's one thing, man. I'm not gonna lie. There's nowadays, there's not many two people podcasts, and it's something I was thinking about the other day.
Like a two people podcast, you don't see that too much.
You don't see it too much anymore. Usually now it's starting to get on the the 3, 4s and stuff like that. Yo, when it's just two people, you got to be on your toes because you got to say something. If I start falling off, you got to pick it up, or we're just gonna be sitting here in fucking silence.
I don't think there's been a moment where there is silence for me.
Yeah,
because you would have
a
to
few
tell
moments.
me no because you don't let me let the clip
I start
out.
looking at Javi.
Nah, you don't let me let the clip out. If it would just leave it to me, I would be saying some weird shit.
The floor is all yours.
The floor? No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. What you want to talk about?
Nah. I only say that to say. I'm just joking, but I say that to say because I've been watching other podcasters, and they're lucky. You know why? Because while all the other 3, 4 people are getting their shit off, you could think what to say.
So they have time. So I feel like it's tough.
That's what I was getting to. That's my point.
But you came for my life.
Well, yeah. I mean, because we're doing this. Bro.
He said, at the expense of Zayn, this point shall be proven.
Yeah, I mean, no, me too. Though it's like, damn. All right, I gotta come back with that. You
look at I don't cut ass often.
Oh God.
If it was really like, oh, this is the roast podcast, or you just fucking cutting ass back and forth, like that would be an interesting podcast.
Oh, that's what you meant by cutting ass. I thought you meant like just
ripping
ass
ass
on the podcast.
Oh no, cutting ass, ripping ass. Those two different things. There's a whole lingo.
I never heard that one.
No,
before. Is that new?
No, it's been around.
Yeah,
they change it all the time.
Yeah, I never heard that one before. I am old, but yeah. So man, I was I went on a live before I was on the IG. And I was like, yo, we've been doing this thing for like 7 years. Like, there's a lot.
7 years.
Yeah. Well, not, I started it 7 years ago, and then you've been on shit, like 5, 4.
I was about to say, I was like, damn, I was 7. I was like, damn, how did, just like, damn, like your own kid, be like, damn, you 7?
Yeah. I started it Thanksgiving.
Right.
Of, you actually came on February of 2018.
Why do I feel like 18 is not the year, but
it was like a blur that year. It was a really weird year.
Sure wasn't 17?
No, it was definitely 18. It was definitely February 2018.
That was 5 years ago, 18?
18,
oh my God.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, actually.
It's about to be 6 years, bro.
Yeah.
6 years.
Look at that.
Yep. It's a little baby.
But with that being said, we've talked about a lot of shit, and especially for people that are not like current events and all that. I was like, damn. So yeah, we've covered a lot of topics.
We did.
But we've also grown through a lot of things to where sometimes we talk about things a second time because we probably think differently.
Right. Your mindset can't be the same X amount of years ago. Like like if you're a person that says you have growth, like a growing mindset, there's no way you could have the same mindset for 5 years. You there, even I don't care who you are, you gotta grow. You gotta be like, oh well, I didn't think about it like that, so maybe I could, you redirect yourself, you adapt to the times, and you might have some views on certain particular things, but then you experience it, and now now it's something different. Now you're like, you know what? Before I didn't understand, now I do, through the experience.
Yeah,
whatever you go through.
I think Javi, maybe Javi can go back and watch some of the old episodes, like, or just listen, because maybe we didn't have the full thing on camera. You could listen to our old shit when Zain first came on, and you could be like, y'all thought about this. Do y'all still think about it?
It should be like a clip. We should just play old clips. Just
yeah, let me see. Yeah, video's been tough, man, because when we were, so actually our second year of doing it, me and you, we started doing video, but it was just for clips, because I was still recording everything on my phone and editing everything on my phone. And
yeah, it wasn't recording long enough.
Well, no, I mean, like I'd get the full episode. I just couldn't. I couldn't sync the audio. I couldn't upload it. It was horrible. So I was really just doing clips, and I was recording everything just on the phone, and that was when we were starting to go like to Bravery and stuff like that.
Right.
But audio, yeah, you can go back and hear audio from 2016.
Man, you go back and you start listening to. Oh, I got something crazy. So I went back to the old website the website that hosted my magazines. That site no longer allows like more than 5 publications. So that means that the rest of my magazines cannot be viewed. So they're just like archived automatically.
I think I noticed that because I go on your shit ton of time and I'm like,
you can't see the original. The originals I had where you could like look at the entire magazine from beginning to end. Like you can't even. You can only, I think only 5 of them are published, and there's like 50 something on there.
And you can't even buy them?
No, you got to have crazy. A plan in order for that to even work. So that's why I had gone to what you call MagCloud not too long ago, and I think that was 2016. I started with them. All my issues are there. But that's the site that you can obviously sell stuff on there, but there's no problems anymore. But the other site, so I might have to do like a legacy post and just go and get my all my old stuff in there like one by one.
You should.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm looking back so that way people can see how I used to shoot in the beginning to like the magazine stuff now. I'm looking at my stuff and I'm saying to my like, that's a huge, that's 10 years. That's a 10-year difference. Like it's amazing. So it's like when you listen back to your old clips and you just like, yo, that was me then. But let me tell you, there's some differences. Like, oh man, all the people that went through, that came and went, you start hearing their voices, and you just like, yo, man, like we documented an actual conversation or people. Like, yeah, it's just audio, but it's like we're documenting moments in time, and I think that's dope.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned in there, like people came and went.
Right.
I was thinking about that. I was gonna bring it up, but I was like, nah, you know what? Let me not. But fuck it. So you did that. It was fate, I guess. Our next topic. I was gonna say like, yo, so I'm at the point where, yo, like I've let a lot of people either just do themselves of just leaving and fizzling out, or I've done that to other people and fizzled out. Like I was more the one that fizzled out. And it's like, you know, sometimes you get in those moments of just wanting to like rekindle that shit.
Right.
And it's like, no. I'm sorry. Like you have to sometimes, yo, I think it's just like, you know, we cover a lot of like relationship stuff here, so I don't want it to go super relationship, but you know, sometimes it's like always like, yo, you don't have to go hit up that ex. You know?
Right.
Like shit is done. And I'm even talking about, you know, friendships, family members, you know, like I don't know. I was always the one, for me, to always try to give things other shots. Even let's just say with like a family member, you know, or like a friend that was friends with forever, and then this shit just goes south.
Right.
For the most maybe silly reasons, and when it goes south for silly reasons, because usually when things go south for like a very heavy reason, you're like, all right, obviously fuck that. But when things go south for a silly reason, you maybe eventually you either miss them or you're like, damn, like, you know, maybe I should just say something or be the bigger person or something like that. What is your thoughts on that? To this day, do you have like maybe any friends, family, colleagues or anything that you've like, you guys just kind of went distant for either just a silly reason or you guys just kind of grew apart? Do you ever think about kind of like reaching out, but then you're like, nah, or do you reach out?
That is a very interesting. I honestly, once it's over, I don't really reach back. I had certain cases where people had reached back because they wanted to like tie things up, but they like apologized for whatever it was, and we like hashed it out, and then we talk like virtually. I think after patching things up, I think virtually you don't have to hang out, because back in the day you used to always, there was no digital distance. You physically would need to hang out with them. You know what I'm saying? Now people are cool with digital hangouts, which is sending memes, talking to them via Instagram or Facebook or text message, and people are okay with that. And then they have a smaller group of people that they physically hang out with, so it's not like so overwhelming. Like you get to choose who you want to hang out with. Like, these are my virtual friends, and these are my friends that I physically go and I hang out with them and go from there. Me personally, if it didn't go too well, then I kind of just let it be. But then people, they go through stuff and they don't tell anybody. So if they fizzle out, I just kind of let them do their thing and fizzle out. And then sometimes they might come back and say, hey, I know things are a little choppy. That kind of lets you know that they actually care and cherish your friendship. If they don't like reach out, or you don't always have to wait for them to reach out. You can always reach out too if you care. You know what I'm saying? Or if you have if you think about them, let me just hit this person up. Just hit them up and say, hey, how's it going? How's everything been? A lot of people don't want to fuck with the small talk, so they, or people are so sometimes if you're like a creator or in business, you might think about hitting somebody up, but then you're like, what's the purpose? The purpose could be just to say hi. Like it doesn't always have to be like a business deal or a strategy just to convert them to buy something. You could literally just say hello, and I feel like a lot of people had lost that genuine vibe of like, hey, I just wanted to check up on you, see how you were doing. You might make somebody's day. You know what I'm saying? And I suggest people, this is the challenge for y'all, is write down 15 people, right? And I want you to send them a text message and let them know that you're thinking about them and you hope everything is going well. 15 people. You write them down and you hit them up, because I promise most of y'all only contact like 2 or 3 people a week to check up on them. So write down 15, and I promise you're going to be texting way more that week.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I actually sometimes, I'm so busy sometimes that I set reminders for shit like that.
Yeah,
because I be busy, man. So sometimes I set reminders like, check in on your people.
Right.
and I really do. And I know it may sound silly, but sometimes I do, because you get so lost in the sauce,
right? You
don't realize it, but it's like sometimes weeks go by and then it's like you don't realize that shit. But I don't know, man. I've been wanting to sometimes reach out to certain things, certain people, when it's like, shit has gone. I'm talking about shit has gone astray. I'm not talking about, a couple of weeks. I'm talking about, you haven't heard from this person in months, or like nothing. Like it almost like y'all just, only time you hear a message from them, it's either like if it's a birthday or you saying happy birthday. Bro, at that point, I'm done. I'm sorry.
if I see on my Instagram that they haven't replied, or if I sent memes that it's been seen and nothing's been said for a while, I'm not gonna bother you no more.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, if you're not leaving on red for X amount of time and you going through stuff, no problem. If you reach out, I give feedback how people give me feedback. You want to talk to me, and then we could talk. If you don't want to talk, no problem. Because I only focus on like a small set of people that I communicate with, and then I have to physically talk with other people because they're not so tech savvy. So I have to physically go to them, and a lot of people, they're not physically going to check up people. They just stay to themselves, and that's perfectly fine. But it's just people feel like, oh, I shouldn't be obligated to talk to anybody. You don't have to do anything you don't want to, but just know, like, it is tough when you get older to make friends. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, you have to actually go out. Like, if you have existing friends, hold on to them. But when you get older, in order to make friends, you have to go to, like, events and, like, talk to people and be social. You got to practice those social skills. Otherwise, you're going to sound super awkward. And they're like, oh, I don't follow the trends. You need to follow the trends because trends are current events. Those trends are letting you know what's in and what's not. You might say something that might be offensive. And if you were on the trends, you realize, oh, I was like that. I should probably watch saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not right. Yeah. So it's like people, they try to avoid certain shit, but like you should probably pay attention. Like, you have a choice not to follow it, but just be aware of what's going on. Like, some people like, oh, there's a war going on. Yeah, it's like 3 of them. Yeah. 3 major ones going on right now. You gotta be on top of that. But people are so tunnel vision with their work. They don't think about, like, shit that might affect their actual work.
we gotta get a segment here where Javi just goes in on, like, some history shit. We're just gonna start calling it like therapy history or some shit.
Therapy history,
something like that.
Therapy and history.
That's what we're gonna plug in. I also think it's like, I guess we're getting to that age too. Like, yo, shit, I'm about to be 34, and I'm like, yo, I've tried, at least me, and I can go to bed at night. Because I know, like, I'm not one. I've tried so many different approaches with so many different people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many different approaches.
If it works, it works.
And it's like I'm one to always live by that quote. Like, if you wasn't there for the ride, don't be there for when I park.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's like,
a lot of people, they be trying to hitch a ride when you got a Lambo.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't even see you in the parking lot. Where did you come from?
100%. And it's like, I'm always gonna be open to, I'm the guy, like, I talk shit, but I'm always gonna be the one. Like, I'm never gonna refuse to the conversation, or I'm never gonna refuse the meetup. But I'm always the one that's over exerting and over putting the energy to kind of make sure that people are good, even with me. Right. I'm always checking on everybody else just to see if they're okay in their situations, but even our current situation. So it's like, yo, I'm sorry, but a lot of people, the time has expired. You know what I'm saying? The time has expired for you to just get your shit together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done all I could do in certain areas, whether that's business, whether that's just family, whether that's just basic friendship. Like, yo, I've called enough times. I've invited you enough times. I've checked in on you. Like, I've done it enough times. Yo, I am done. I am too busy for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Number one, like, in all areas, like, I'm done. So unfortunately, there's a lot of those that you just want to, because you have a good heart. Like, oh, damn, this family member had kids. I want to, but it's like, again, you wasting that energy. Like, what the fuck is the point? I invite you to so many different things, do this, that, and you don't hear nothing. I'm done.
So many times you get exhausted and you just like, yo, it's like, I need this energy for myself. It's like you sometimes you be spending energy that could be for you on other people, and then it just goes nowhere, and then you have to wait the next day to fucking reset and get that energy back. It's like, sometimes you're just like, you know what, I'm going to micromanage my energy much better following year, like moving forward. You start to learn how much energy to, like, give out. I was giving out too much energy. Now it's like
Yeah.
now I have a better understanding where my energy can be directed and not exhaust
Be
myself.
more specific. Were you maybe giving it to too many people around you, around just the small people around you, or just to everybody?
It was just to everybody except for work, and like that I don't like give as much energy to, because you go in as an expendable. At nowadays, it used to be, you were treated like, so not all companies are like that, but like most of the jobs, they treat you like you're expendable. So I typically kind of get a vibe of it, and then I kind of like let myself be more engaged with the company, depending on how they like treat you. But typically, like, yeah, I was just giving too much energy, and then I start to understand this is how much energy I'm going to give, and that's the max. There was no limit. That was the issue. Now it's like I'm limiting it, and I'm giving time for myself to go painting. I was saying this to somebody the other day, saying like I loved to like use my hands to draw and mold things and like fix things and build things, and I find myself mostly on the computer or on my phone, just checked out. And I said, if I were to step away from that, like out of body experience, and look at myself, like, I don't think that's not someone I'm happy with. Just doing that. I would rather physically work and build something and be like, wow, I built that with my hands. Like, I built my whole like room of different furniture that all correlates, and for the first time it was like things that weren't hand-me-downs. It was like everything that just worked together, and I physically put those things together, and it feels more rewarding. There was like a YouTube video of a guy who's explaining that people want to meet people that are already done. They're already built up already. When you go to IKEA, building it together as a unit, it feels so good together. Like when, especially the parts, but you feel accomplished. And that's something that IKEA prides itself on, is like you're building as a unit. You're building as a family, perhaps, and when you build together, it feels good. Especially when you're building with your hands and you're working on things physically outside of like Instagram and social media. So a lot, people get lost in the sauce and they don't realize I got lost in the sauce. So sometimes you have to give yourself time to like love yourself again. And remember, like, yo, I don't have to be on my phone. So it's good to give yourself like a 2-week cleanse. If you can't do a week, then you're gonna have to do 2 weeks off the phone. Like, it's just that like if you're like struggling, like just if you're doing it for business, that's great, but just give yourself a timer, 20 minutes. Yeah. That's it.
I could never go 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
But I feel you though.
Because people don't understand how deep they are in their phones. That it's just like unreal. Like, people have now more access to your time. Like, you can't
100%.
go the day without somebody hitting you up.
No.
Not now, especially since you have a business. But like, if say business is closed, right? Somebody hits you up. That's and then another person hits you up, and then another person hits you up.
Oh, my business never closes.
Business never closed because maybe someone say, "Hey, can you do this?" And now it's like, now you have more people access to your time. It doesn't matter where you are in the world; they're always gonna contact you directly.
Yeah, and
it's
like
tough.
Like what you said about making sure where you're redirecting your energy. Like, see, I'm cool with if we like 50-50, if you giving me the same energy that I'm giving you, then I'm cool, and I'll go all the fuck out. I don't give a fuck. I mean, the ones y'all know, you ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't doing shit. No energy, no progress. I am done. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I am not. I'm just not. Like I think we mentioned this last week or one of the weeks before. It's like, flexing that no muscle. Just saying no. Fuck that. Unless you giving me that same energy. At this time, I don't got time for that shit. We got to worry about Jay. We got to worry about real shit, family, fucking business. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. I've tried. I've tried enough with X amount of different people, X amount of different situations. Unless you're giving the same energy. Deuces. Jay actually sent in a pretty good topic. It was fate and destiny. Do we believe it's real?
Fate and destiny. Do you believe it? Well, it depends, but I believe it is real. And that's my reality of it. So a lot of people, they think because a person says it, it's law. I was like, listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You don't always have to believe everyone's opinion. You could use your own free will to make that decision for yourself. I believe it is like sometimes you're destined to do stuff, you know, but no. The moment you understand that you are not in control, living life becomes much easier. And sometimes it might be difficult, sometimes it's easy, but at the end of the day, it's just life. Just go take one step at a time. Things come your way, you have obstacles. Everyone has obstacles, you know, but you do not know where you're going to be in 7 days from now. You don't know what's going to happen 3 days from now. But sometimes things line up and it gets there. Some people might argue, because you did things today, that's what affects tomorrow. Absolutely. But what about the things around you? Not in control of that. You're in control of what you do, but not everybody else. So what do you say to them? You don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's and that's I guess the beauty sometimes, that if you not knowing, like nobody wants to know how they expire in life. What do? They say, nah, I don't want to know. I'd rather just live my life. Just live your life.
Should I want to know?
Right. People want to know, but then people don't want to know. But like, it's whatever it is, you know, like you still got to live your life regardless. So like, I didn't think I was going to be a photographer. Am I happy? Yeah, because I got to meet so many cool people. You know, I could have just been doing retail for the rest of my life, or I could have been like a teacher. But I was going in it, but this just wasn't for me. I didn't think I was going to be a photographer, but I love art. But I'm still within art, but I didn't think I was going to be at this point in my life. Like, imagine KFC. Like, I'm sure my man didn't go his life before he's, like, selling chicken and then being, like, a millionaire.
Hell yeah.
You know, like, nobody knows. Like J.K. Rowling, she was struggling and sold a book and blew up. How'd you know? You didn't.
Would have never know.
Would have never known. But
now, question: what do you think? Now, is that their destiny? Is that their fate?
it could be, but we just don't know. I personally think it is fated, but it's like at that point you come to understanding with yourself, because if you believe that it's predestined, then you believe that there's certain things that happen outside of your control. That's already predetermined for you specifically, and then that's it. But then if you believe that, sometimes you fight that logic because terrible things might have happened to you, and then you start to be angry, and you're like, so that was predestined? Someone predestined X, Y, Z to happen to me, or maybe a family member in their life. They said someone predestined them to go through that. So they don't want to believe that, because if they believe that, that means that they believe that someone above them of entity has control, and then they choose for like bad things to happen to people, good people. That's where,
and obviously you don't want to believe that.
And you don't want to believe that, so then you don't put your mind there, so you kind of just dismiss it altogether. And that's where it's troubling.
The fate and the destiny.
The fate and the destiny, because you're like,
you know bad shit obviously happens.
Right, because that's the number one thing people go to. Is like, oh, if only good things happen to your life, then you're like, oh, thank God it's predetermined, right? But if only good things happen in your life, do you think you would make the appropriate, or do you think you'll learn from the decisions that you've made in your life?
Yeah, not at all.
If everything you did was a win, that means everybody's winning, and if everybody's winning, that means everybody's losing.
Yeah.
So that means life is just gonna be life, where bad things are gonna happen. But if you believe that fate does exist in your reality, then you would feel like this. You feel like some type of hate or like just grudging feeling if you experience bad things happen in your life or people that you love automatically.
Yeah.
Especially if you're religious.
Exactly. I think belief is everything. Especially with faith, and destiny. Like, I think it's I don't think it's just like you were born for this reason and your whole life was mapped out. I don't believe in that. I believe in like real time fate and destiny. Like in real time. Like I believe that we all have, first of all, I believe everything happens for a reason. So that's where the destiny part is. And that's where the fate is. I think every single thing that happens to us was like set up.
Right.
And I think it's our destiny. Every single thing that we do. Right. But I think it's based on, again, what we do. And I think it's in real time. Like, I think, it's called me crazy, but I think life is like a fucking video game.
That's what I've been saying.
No, like seriously. And it's like, y'all know I'm not even into games and shit like that. I think we're like, people play us like fucking avatars.
I've been saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that's my only reason why it's interesting, because we play games, and it's getting to the point where they're trying to make those games very sentient, right? They have them moving. Like if you don't move the character, they'll sometimes move by themselves and whatnot. They're getting to that advancement where they might just look into the actual TV and looking at you, and then following you. Like, hey man, let's get moving, and to the point where it's gonna be so sentient, it's gonna be us. What if somebody's playing Phil character, and then every time you go to sleep,
I do think it's something like that, because so I'm a believer in angels. I'm a believer in, because like I guess it's kind of gonna make me go deep, because this is a deep topic. I believe obviously there's a God, whatever. But he can't do all this. He needs his people. He needs backup. You know what I'm saying? Like he needs, and I believe that we have so many angels, and I think through our spirit and through our consciousness and all that, and through our faith, things are redirected. You know what I'm saying? Like I really do think it. I do think, like if there's an accident coming, or if there's a car driving crazy, you know what I'm saying? He might put you in traffic. The angels might put you in traffic to avoid that.
To slow you down.
Yeah, or to slow you down. Or it might get you to get a flat tire to avoid you getting maybe killed a couple blocks up. Everything. I think
and that's if you focus on, like, there might be situations like that if you believe fate, like, I must have been slowed down. Like that's thinking half full opposed to half empty.
Yeah.
The half empty is like, that means all those bad things that happened, like that was predestined, instead of thinking about the good things that happened.
I think it's always in our benefit. Always.
Right.
And that's I guess a good point that you make me bring up is I think it's always in our favor. I think
put it in the mindset.
I think it's always in our favor, no matter what we say. I think our fate and our destiny is always in our favor. But I also do think it gets to a point where they see, because at the end of the day, no matter what our consciousness does, and I think the universe can only do so much. Like, have you ever seen the movie Ghost?
Yeah, with Patrick Swayze.
You ever seen it? No, great movie. It's older, but it's still a phenomenal movie. Like there was just some shit he just couldn't do.
Yeah,
like some shit he could do, some shit he couldn't. I think it kind of gets like that. I think there's like, it gets to a point where it's like, we still have a human body. We still are in control. Like, the universe could do a lot of different things. It could make it rain right now, right here, and stop us from doing something. Or it could turn, like, who knows what it could do. But at the end of the day, we still have a lot of power. Because we're human. We know we're alive. We're human bodies and all that. So I think it kind of is like, yo, dog, we're going to help steer. And we're going to help direct. And then sometimes we might have to press that button. Like we might have to halt you. We might only get like a video game. I might get 4 tries.
And that's it.
I might have 4 tries this week to hold something back and to do something. Like just like in the movie, if anyone knows the movie, sometimes he was able to do shit as he was learning, but I think it's just like a game. I think our angels is like, you know what? They got like 5 times a week. They could just be like, hit the button. You know what I'm saying? I think 5 times a week they got, like in Candy Crush, you know, you got like 5 lives or whatever.
Right.
I think it's just some shit like that. Like, yo, they got 5 times to step in. They got 5 times to step in. It's just like that. I know it sounds very silly, but this is how my brain thinks.
Right.
And that's when they step in and they make their times. But I think it also gets to a point where there's some logic in it as well when they see, okay, yes, it's always for the good. Fate is always in the good, and destiny is always in the good. But sometimes I think I need to think, and I need to not be selfish and do this for somebody else. And that's when shit like death starts happening. And people start questioning that shit. Like for me, you know, y'all know I always take shit personal. And when I don't mean I take things personal, I mean like I'll use personal examples. Like my mom passing and my mom's whole situation, yo, to this day, I swear on everything that shit was for a reason. It was all for a reason. I think I got to a point where like the angels and whoever was like, yo, I'm sorry, but for the universe and for the world and for our people, we got to take a sacrifice because it's going to be better. Like I look at her, I think it gets to a point, and this is not just with her, it's with anybody. I think it gets to a point where they give you X amount of chances and they're like, all right, well, you know, we don't really see you doing no good for the world. And that sounds so fucked up. But it's like, you're at that time, like we feel you're at that expiration date. Like where we've gave you so many chances. Just back to like that first topic that we were just talking about. I've gave you X amount of chances, right, and you have done this. It is now time to use you as a sacrifice for the benefit of something else. Now that benefit, again, it's like the sacrifice to hope that it's a benefit. Or it could not be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, but then I'm going to have to start using you as a lesson to maybe help somebody else. Like, yo, I know for a fact, if I didn't have that story with the way I did, like in my own personal life, I'd never be who I am today. I'd never be who I am today. And I'm also not, I don't even know the words, but I know how my impact is. Not saying I'm not no fucking, you know,
right,
nobody big or nothing, but I know my impact. I know who I brought together. I know what I've done based on my upbringing. And I know it sounds so fucked up. It's worth way more than if it would have went a different way.
Right. And then
if it would have, if it would have went a different way, that's cool. That's selfish though. That's just all right. Making this no.
And that's when you gotta think like people. You know, you think about like fate and destiny. I usually just say like time. Like if this is part of the timeline, right? The things that happen in my life, everything because it only makes sense when you realize like, wait a minute, if I never did this, then I would have been able to help X person doing this. I was like, oh wow, and it's like. It changes everything. Like, I mean, like, when you think about it, like, influence is major. And you're like, yo, like, maybe you've changed one person by saying one thing to them. Maybe you shook their hand and you said, yo, that was great work. What if they just needed that one? And
the trickle effect of what that does.
Right.
Because a lot of times, like, yo, we're mad selfish with, like, our thinking of, like oh, is fate real? And if it is, then, well, fuck it then, because it's making my shit trash right now. You don't know what it's doing. So shut the fuck up.
But you know, it's interesting. The same people that talk about destiny not being real or fate, which is perfectly fine, they also mention karma a lot. Like, oh, they did me dirty, so karma's going to take care of them. That doesn't sound a little like destiny, like fate. Like you think, you know, eventually you do X amount of bad things, it's going to catch up to you. And that's going to be what? Karma.
Exactly.
You can either get good karma or you get bad karma. But like the thing with good karma is you can't be doing good and expecting good. Just do good at a default.
Of course.
Otherwise, you're just not gonna get the karma. But there's no formula to get the karma. But there's an easy formula for the bad karma. 120%. Like I know that for a fact. You just go about the world. If you know it's wrong, don't do it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But if you don't believe, you're gonna be judged. Like how we grew up, we were taught like, yo, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you know, when you go to that gate, they're gonna start weighing what you did good and what you did bad. Now, if you don't believe, right? Not to say that if you don't believe you're gonna do bad things, but if in your mindset, you're gonna be thinking, well, what's gonna happen if I do this? Because if you're not afraid of your parents, you sure as hell were afraid of God when you were in house. If you were taken to church often, so then if you don't have that, or if I'm not afraid of my parents and I'm not afraid of God, then well, you're gonna do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? The morality gets skewed if you don't have like a really solid belief system of between good and bad. You don't need to have religion to know what's right and what's wrong. Just know what's right. You know, if you're having a challenging moment of figuring out what's right and what's wrong, the number one issue is, who do you go to level out your morality? If you're seeking help somewhere, like if it's therapy related, they usually leave religion to the side unless you find a religious therapist. So you got options. But like, it's really tough for people to think, who do I go to level out my morality?
Yeah.
Or if they believe in the morality, moral ethics.
And then I think that's a good point. Like, I do think that everything that happens like within our fate and our destiny, I think a lot of it does have to do with, what's your faith, your faith like? You know what I'm saying?
Are you a spiritual person? Like, what's your spiritual like standard? Like some people just go to work. That's it. They don't like church. No, I just go to work. I hang out with friends, and then that's it. There's like,
or even just your energy. Like, I'm not even saying quote unquote like super specific of that. I'm just saying like your aura. Like, are you just a good fucking human? You know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, I think like, when you hear crazy stories like, criminals and shit, and then they get caught. Yeah, they probably got caught for a reason, because they were a bad fucking energy, and they needed to go somewhere. Right. That was their fate.
Right.
And yes, they had to do some wild shit. But again, that sacrifice was maybe for a reason, for the other, to teach somebody else, or for another. Like, I think it's all so interconnected.
Right.
All so interconnected, and in the bad shit, I make sense of the bad shit. Maybe that's just me looking like, you said the glass half full, and sidebar, I'm gonna fuck this fly up.
Right.
I've been trying to get him for a week.
Oh God. But yeah, it's tough when you're trying to balance out between what's right and what's wrong, if you don't have any moral background, like or understanding of what's the difference. If you saw something that's the way of living, and it's outside, it's like, oh, that's bad, but to you it's part of living, because you've already convinced that outside of your bubble, nobody's gonna help you. So these are the things that you have to do, and whether it's long term or temporary, it's what you're doing to stay alive. You go into that survivor mode, and he's like, it might be wrong to y'all, but it's right to me, because I need to survive. I need to live the next day. You go into that survival mode, and people judge you, but it's like, you gotta fucking, some people, like in other countries or in here, this country, you steal to make, provide for your family. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it might not just be for you. It might be for family. And you don't want to do it, but you get pushed to the point where you have to do it. There could be alternative ways, but for that moment, that urgency, you do it. So like, it is tough to reach out to people, but you don't know, like, you don't have like a camera on every single person. So that's why I used to be like really upset, and now I say, you know what, they're probably going through it, because I know I went through it. But I don't like to wait till I go through it to understand what they're going through. If they're going through it, I will never, or will never understand what they're going through. But I could be understanding, and then I give them their space. And then we could collect another time. And then give people the opportunity to redeem themselves. And that's something that's important. That's all also part of the forgiveness as well. You know, if you can learn how to forgive yourself, maybe you'll have maybe you'll be able to forgive others. That's very tough to let go, especially if that person hurt you a lot, because you don't have to bring them back into your life, but you could like kind of dissolve them, like, because sometimes we bring shit from the past with us that should have been let go a long time ago.
Yeah,
you know, because it doesn't define you today.
Yep, you're right.
You know, and it didn't define you then. You know, you still have full ownership of how you want to go about your day-to-day life. You know, but sometimes it's unfortunate that certain situations happen. You know, I see it as, you know, the glass breaks, super glued together, it's not going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's still a plate. So whether you want to eat it or not, you know, like you could get a new plate, or you could just fix it up.
Yeah. You know, and I do think too, we are still, like, no matter how much, like, I think like everything happens for a reason and all that, I do think we are still extremely in control of our destiny and of our fate. But I think that we need to do a few things. And I'm a firm believer of this as well. I actually put this on social media a few times. I think we need to have positive thoughts, right? We need positive actions, right? And positive faith. Positive thoughts, positive actions, and positive faith. And I know it's going to sound super corny, but I'm a firm believer that if you focus on those three things more often than not, your fate and your destiny is going to be in the places that you want it to be, or they're going to be positive. You know what I'm saying? Positive actions plus positive thoughts plus positive faith. Your mindset. I'm telling you, that shit has your mindset is everything. How you look at things, like you said, glass half full. If it's bad, and again, it's gonna sound airy fairy and all that, but the more you do that, like for me, the more I've been tapped in with my faith, my life has changed for the better. You know, and even before that, okay, yeah, I still believe everything was always everything was happening for a reason. I just wasn't seeing it. So now I see it and I'm very in tuned. So now I'm like, it's like, you know, you're going to get $100 or you're going to get $1 million in a year. A lot of people, they don't know they're going to get that million, so they just walk around aimlessly. I know, and I'm not even just talking money. Like, I know I'm going to be more happy, all this and all that. Like, that equivalence to that, I know that what that destination is. I know what that destiny is. I know what that fate is. Like, not exactly, but I have a feeling. I have the feeling behind it, that energy towards it. I know where it's going. I don't question that shit at all anymore. And I think the fact that I've kind of just like let the world do its thing has helped. You know, like, don't get me wrong. Is it draining at times? It's fucking draining at times. But I still always trust the process. Right. And I still have the faith. Like it's not like I'm at moments where like, oh shit, my faith isn't there. Oh, my fate is gonna be sucky. Yeah, you know, I'm destined for fucking ass. No, I think we're all destined for greatness. But it's about what you do every single day and where your head is every single day. That's going to get you to a positive destiny and a positive fate.
Do you feel that with therapy that that they can help kind of, do you think, actually no, if you went to therapy, do you think that would help you kind of organize your idea of fate by going to therapy? Do you think they'll organize it for you? You think it'll be confusing for you?
I don't know, because I don't think it all depends, yo. Because like, I guess when I'm doing my research with therapy, I think a lot of it's very just like by the book, scientifical, how your brain would work things, and just very like kind of cookie cutter a little bit. Nothing against it, but I think it's sometimes a little bit more cookie cutter. If it's mixed, if it's faith based, I think that could be really powerful. Based on whatever faith the person believes in, I think that's when it can get really funky. You know, removing the faith from it, I think sometimes it could just open up more wounds. It could, like you said, maybe confuse. It could maybe just play with wounds, you know, just like stir shit up when it doesn't need to be stirred up. Or it could make you double guess and double think yourself. You know, it could gaslight you. You know, I think sometimes therapy could just gaslight your own fucking feelings and try to tell you that you're feeling things that you're not, and that this was what they're not, and that this is like, I don't know.
So it sounds like confusion.
It could
be if depending on the faith of the therapist. So if you didn't know going in, and depending on what they are, it sounds like if they don't have faith base, it come off very cookie cutter, and it might kind of confuse your moral compass of how you think of things. Because everybody might have a different reality, but that's why I was saying, like, where do you go to level out? Like, say if you have low air in your tire, you know what the numbers are to level yourself out, right? If you need to level yourself out for what's good and what's bad, who do you go to? Usually your parents, usually maybe religious leaders.
Yeah.
But is there any like medical help that doesn't prescribe any medication?
No.
Like, so that's why I mentioned like therapy, and I'm saying like this to prove a point that it is not always difficult. Like, oh, why don't you go get some help? Or about where? I don't even know where to go to get it. I don't know where to go. I know how to get this. You know, I know how to get shoes. I know how to get tires. I know how to get, like, you know, video games. I know where to find those. But say I'm going through it in life and I don't know the difference between if I'm doing is right in life or how I'm interacting with people is wrong. And then, you know, it's just like, am I looking for somebody to talk to, or do I need to level out my fucking moral compass?
I think sometimes it could be too deep. You know, it could be too deep. Like, yo, let's just say, you know, you get a fucking flat tire on the highway.
Right.
And then you just start flipping out and you have a fucking road rage.
You could just calm down, but it's just like, you don't.
No, but in that moment, let's just say then an officer sees you and you end up having to take therapy. What's a therapist going to do?
Why? They're going to ask you a question.
They're going to sit there, and this is going to sound negative, but I'm just doing it for like devil's advocate. They're going to sit there and try to unravel this rage.
Absolutely.
And they're going to try to act like it's so deep rooted in this and that and this and that, and just like open up and just have a bunch of just unnecessary. Maybe it's unnecessary. For that one person, you never know. It might be great. But for other people, it just might be so unnecessary to where it's like, and ends up bringing up more trauma. Then maybe just having a conversation with the person and being like, yo, like,
sometimes
like a perspective shift on the fucking tire thing. You know what I mean? Or maybe like,
sometimes it comes off as a ribbon that's carrying like a bunch of rocks, and once you unravel it, it just drops. So if you go in thinking it's going to be like that situation where if they're asking you questions about like, why did you flip out, and it's all of a sudden it's unraveling the knot that's gonna drop mad rocks, then that means that you need to be in therapy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just means that, because what ends up happening is I found out for myself, when I would like flip out in certain cases, it had nothing to do with what I was flipping out with. I just needed an outlet I needed a reason to fucking lose my shit. I needed a reason. And I didn't think about it in the moment, so I just let the clip out because I was just aggravated. You ever have somebody just poke you? But then now it's less about the poke. Now you're thinking about all the times you never stood up for yourself, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, this might be a simple poke, which you could say, hey, man, can you not like do that anymore, right? But then the person, you tell them and they're still doing it. Yeah. Now all that is just unraveling, and then you're just pulling that little knot. Yeah. And eventually you snap.
But I don't think everyone's like that. And I think that's where I think it gets very cookie cutter.
So I mean, they won't know because they gotta reach around.
But I think everyone has things that needs, or not needs, or that would be. I
don't think it's a selective few. Like I'm not saying
this would be like the best clip. Therapy's a fucking pyramid scheme. I think I heard this recently.
Say it again for the people on the back.
That's why it's without a degree.
Therapy without a degree. Everybody, it's a what? Say this was.
I said it's like a fucking pyramid scheme. And I think I might have heard this on a pod the other day. That's how it even got in my brain. But it clicked, and I heard it, and I was like, yo, you know why, bro? We all go through shit.
Right.
Every single one of us. It's such a cop out. It's such a cop out to say, like, nah, like maybe we just need to go another way because it's for everybody, bro. It's like,
you know what it is? It's the
It's like, nah, hold on. It's like those fucking commercials, bro.
Right.
Late at night, back in the day in the fucking 90s. Like, oh, do you have headaches every once in a while?
Do you go to sleep at night and wake up in the morning?
Like, bro, everyone's going to answer yes to these questions.
Right.
We all go through shit. Every single person. If I gave a fucking generic ass test to every single person on this fucking block right now, you know what the end of the answers would be? They all need therapy.
Most likely.
Every one of them.
Right.
Every one of them. There ain't going to be a goddamn sheet.
And where do you think they would, who do you think they go to talk to?
Who do they go to?
Like, because if it's as random as that, like, if everyone needs the therapy,
everybody needs it.
Then that means that everyone needs to be talking to someone, and most people, they don't talk to anybody, and they just keep it in internally.
Of course.
And that's where the divide happens. So for those, like, you know, you could say, oh, yes, you know, therapy is a pyramid scheme. That's completely valid because it sometimes comes off like that. But I think just having someone to talk to, because if someone doesn't have any family members, they don't have no friends, right? Then now you have your coworkers. Your coworkers ain't gonna listen to you. They just go to work. So now you're down to yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't want to talk to yourself because you don't even know what's going on.
Well, 100%. And let me stop you before you even go, because that's what I think is sometimes the most simplest shit.
Right.
That we fucking need is just that. But what I'm saying is like the whole, everything is so deep. It's connected to 20 million things you went through. No, I think sometimes it's like, yo, fam, you shouldn't have been acting like that on the fucking road. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, or teaching them that, yo, look at this half full versus half empty. Versus just going through all of that bullshit that we've all gone through. We've all went through traumatic. Yo, you talk to every single person, bro, they're going to tell you a sad story. We all have sad stories. Man the fuck up and just do what you got to do. Like, I hate that excuse of like, oh, I've been through shit. That every one of us has a list of shit that needs unraveling and that needs to be worked through. And that's just excuses for just how we act. It's excuses for the road rage or for that. It's excuses. In my opinion, it's excuses. Like, we all have shit that needs unraveling. That doesn't give you an excuse to fucking do bullshit or act a fucking bullshit way. No, change your perspective on the situation. It's not that deep where you need to go fucking down through 40, 50 years of your fucking life just because, you know, like it shouldn't be that serious. We all have shit. Yeah, you probably need maybe someone to talk to and all that, you know, which we all fucking need. But does this need to be a whole fucking 9-month fucking soliloquy every week and then medication and all this and all that? No, we're all fucked up individuals. It's our fucking duty just to try to do better and better ourselves and just, you know, work it out.
Right. So who they working out with?
Who?
That's the question.
They got to find somebody.
And who do you think they're gonna find?
Maybe. Or therapy without a degree. And us.
This is subliminal. It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be therapy. Exactly. It could be therapy out of a degree. But essentially, they need therapy. That's it, man. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back home, everybody. I'm bringing it back home. It was a whole Rick and Morty episode. Brought it back to therapy. At the end of the day,
tell you how I really feel.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're gonna talk to somebody. You talk to either Therapy Out of Degree podcast, or you could talk to a therapist. One or the other. You got to talk to
Or
somebody.
God, or your fucking friend, or your dog.
Whatever you got to do, you just got to let it out. Just write it down. Or if you don't talk to anybody, another way, you could journal your thoughts and then read it back and think, make sense of that situation. See if there's like 3 alternatives to respond to that situation.
Yo, Javi, you ever heard those commercials where it's like, have you felt tired lately?
Those are the
Have you
best.
No, it's just for like, oh, it's like, and then they start thinking you fucking need medication or some shit.
Right.
It's
The
like,
best
bro,
one was like the go to sleep.
Yeah.
Cleo.
That's what I'm saying. And of course, everyone's gonna say yes.
Do you have a sibling?
Yeah. Wow. Do you know someone who passed away? Yes, I do.
Did the name start with a W?
Do you have a friend?
Yeah. Do you have you felt sad lately?
Right. But like
Most-
that.
Like
but-
Cat Williams said it one time. I'd never forget. Yo, that was the most hilarious thing. He's like, oh well, yes, I do. Yo, I gotta find that shit
You
somewhere.
know, play that clip.
Let's see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it. But hold on, let me see.
Because I'm going to give you a prime fucking example. They supposed to be putting medicine in America to help motherfuckers feel better and help you live better. But these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about the medicine. They out making their motherfucking money. They give you one medication supposed to fix some shit, and the side effect fuck up your leg and shit. Then they give you another one to fix that, and it
Nah,
fuck
this is a
up your
different one, but
arm,
this one's
and
not
now
fun.
you on 2 medications looking like a flamingo in front of your motherfucking children and shit. These motherfuckers don't give a fuck.
I don't.
My favorite line is, make your dick little. He's like, nah, I don't want that type of side effect. That was my favorite one.
Which one?
But it's the one where he was just saying like certain side effects like steroids makes you big and brolic, but then the side effects is like makes your dick little. It's like, I'm sorry, what? I'm not trying to trick a bitch. He's like, hold on, I know it's small, but look at these muscles though. You can feel these muscles though. You can feel these muscles. But it's just how it's just like that was like the phrase like make your dick little. Absolutely not.
Oh man.
You know he sponsors most of his shows. That's all out of pocket.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, his shit is funny.
He has like
man.
15 specials that he dropped is he financed it himself. And then Netflix gave him a deal for like $2 million, and then he had put $300,000 into the project. So he my man's is living comfortably.
He's living like Larry.
Living like Larry, a pimp named Slickback. And then now that challenge is popular. I'm like, yo, you can't forget about Cat Williams. It's just interesting. Like, if you're a comedian that's popular, you need to be a popular actor too. Like Kevin Hart, he does stand-up comedy, and he also is in movies, but he also is doing like podcasting. So it's like if he didn't do any of those, and he just did comedy, then he'd just be like Cat Williams on the road all the time.
I think this is it.
I've been confused the whole goddamn election. I've been confused because everybody commercials sound good at 2:30 in the goddamn morning, and you done had a rough day and shit. They just, do you care about your family? Yes, I do. Is health care important to you? Well, yes, it is. No, nigga, this motherfucker know me personally. This ain't no regular campaign. This motherfucker's in my family life.
Bro, that's fucking therapy, bro.
That's how you think therapy is.
Yes.
So they're just reaching out. How are they gonna know? Do you think they're psychics?
No,
That's the
because
joke.
if they if they ask those basic questions, we're all gonna lay out a bunch of shit because we all go through something, every one of us. And if you don't fucking think it,
Have you gone to therapy?
I have not.
Oh, then you can't say shit.
I said what I said.
You can't
I
say
said what I
shit,
said.
is what I'm saying.
I said what I said.
You're gonna have to go. Listen, do me some homework. You take one and then come back to me.
Javi needs to hear this.
Everybody commercials sound good at 2:30 in the goddamn morning, and you done had a rough day and shit. They just, do you
See, yeah.
That's the truth.
The therapist is gonna be like, have you felt sad lately?
Nah, man, you gotta go. You gotta go on BetterHelp. No sponsorship, by the way. You have to go on BetterHelp, and you gotta take like 1 week. 1 week.
Look, I'm not against it.
I'm not saying. Listen. I'm not saying you could be against all you want. I'm just saying take a class. I mean, not take a class. Like do a session 1-on-1, right? Let them know why you're talking to them, right? Because you want to actually genuinely talk about it, and then see what they do. And I want then, and only then, I want you to come back and tell me. No, I'm serious. I am so fucking serious. I'll put money down.
You'll pay for it?
I will pay for it just for you to do it. So I would, because I want to hear your follow up. I want to hear
my follow up.
I want to hear up your follow, because you can let the clip out. You don't even have to tell me. You don't have to tell me nothing that you told them. But I am so curious. I'm so curious to hear your thoughts.
I'm curious
after
too.
Because, and then you'd be like, actually, I said something. I said some things that I might have not particularly agree with now in my current state of mind. No. But I'm just waiting for the follow up. But please.
We'll see. Other than that, I think that was a good episode. Y'all got to hear my. That's gonna be maybe the title of this episode, right?
The rant. It's like therapy versus psychics,
or just faith.
Or faith. I mean, there'll be like a whole. It'll just be like this, like a Spider-Man meme, right? And it's like therapy, psychics, and faith.
You should make that graphic. Make it.
Yeah, all the Spider-Man just
make that graphic for us. All right, yo, we out of here.
Oh, wait, shout out.
Oh, yeah, what are you shouting out?
I'm shouting out the movie. It's called
BetterHelp.
I'm shouting out BetterHelp, huh? No, Dix the Musical.
I saw the creator.
Whoa.
That was an amazing movie. I think I shot that out before. But this one I'm shouting out Dix the Musical. That movie was an A24 movie, and that shit was absolutely ridiculous. And that's all I will say. That's all I will say. You will never see. It's like a cult classic, like Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's gonna be a classic movie, and y'all heard it here. Y'all don't want to listen to it, but I'm just letting y'all know. Dix the Musical. That's what I'm shouting out.
Dix the Musical?
Yes.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
I'm going to shout out. I miss my nights, man. Shout out to all the night owls. Shout out to all the night owls. All right, yo. It's been real. Another episode. Therapy without a degree. Shout out to Zain coming through. I thought you weren't going to make it today. I'm not going to lie.
For that chicken, I was.
I gotta bribe.
That chicken sandwich, I was.
I got to bribe y'all to get in here. All right?
No, I was coming regardless.
Javi came. If not, I was just going to put like a fucking a weight bench over here or something.
So just lifting. Just lift for fucking an hour.
You know what I'm saying? Put like a little deadlift over there.
That would have been that. People would have watched it
with some like finance books and then but put all that like
maybe that'd be the segment. It's just Javi says nothing and he just works out.
It just works out.
No.
Oh man!
All right, peace out, guys.
Why is it that?
Oh my God!
Why is it that like, it's always us two,
right?
And then thank God Javi's been rocking with us for a while, but then before that we had Tay, and Tay was into fitness.
Right.
And now why is it always just fitness?
We get fitness recruits. Maybe
I'm destined to finally lose weight.
Maybe it was fate. Follow me, you fucking idiots.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That was good.